by 26.
Look, Figaro, my wreath. Do you like it better so?
Splendid, my darling. Oh, how precious, in an adoring bridegroom's eyes, is the virginal wreath that adorns the head of his beloved on her wedding morning.
And what are you measuring there, my dear?
I'm just thinking about the fine bed his lordship is giving us. The question is, shall it go here?
In this room?
This is the one he's letting us have.
Well, I don't want it.
Why?
I just don't.
But why not?
I don't like it.
You might give a reason.
Suppose I don't want to.
But once they're sure of us.
Giving a reason for being right amounts to admitting that I could be wrong. Now, are you my humble servitor, aren't you?
But why take prejudice against the room? It's the most convenient one in the castle, and attached to the 2 suites of rooms. Suppose my lady has need for something. She rings from her side, and lo and behold, a couple of steps, and you're in her room. On the other hand, should my lord have need for anything, he merely gives a tinkle, and then, hey, presto, hop and a skip, and I'm there.
Very nice, too. But suppose he'd given a tinkle in the morning and sent you off on some lengthy task. Hey, presto, a couple of steps, and he's at my door, and lo and behold, a hop to the skip.
Whatever are you talking about?
Why don't you listen?
But, good lord, what's it about?
This is what it's about, my dear boy. My lord the Count, tired of cultivating rustic beauties, has a mind to return to the castle, but not to his wife. It's yours he has cast his eye on, and he thinks this room might prove well to be convenient. Or so the ever-loyal Basile, my esteemed singing teacher, daily suggests to me as he gives me my lesson.
Ah, yes, a good friend, Basile. If ever a good stout cudgel properly applied to a man's back and shoulders.
You don't think, silly boy, that this dowry I am to receive was a tribute to your own outstanding merits?
I've done sufficient to hope so.
How stupid clever men can be.
Oh, so they say.
Yes, but some people are unwilling to believe it.
That's where you're wrong.
Let me tell you, he means to use it to get me alone for a few minutes to exact an ancient droit de seigneur. You know what that means.
So much so, that if his lordship hadn't have abolished the infamous privilege when he got married himself, I would not have married you within his domains.
Very well, he may have abolished it then, but he now wishes he had it, and it's with your bride-to-be. He means to receive it today.
Oh my. Oh, I'm quite dizzy with the shock. My forehead is sprouting already.
Don't rub it then.
There's no danger, is there?
Oh, if there were to be the slightest little swelling, superstitious people.
Oh, you're making fun of me, you witch. You suppose there is some way of catching out this arch deceiver, of leading him into a trap and pocketing his money.
Ah, intrigue and money, you're in your element now.
It's not any sense of shame that restrains me.
What is it then? Fear?
There's nothing in taking risks. But to take risks at the same time, turn them to your advantage. That is something.
Oh, that means her ladyship is awake. She asked me to be the first person to speak to her on my wedding morning.
Has that some significance as well?
There's an old saying that it brings luck to neglected wives. Goodbye, dear Figaro. Think about our little problem.
What about a kiss to encourage me?
Oh, from my lover of today? I should think not. What will my husband say about it tomorrow? Oh, there!
Oh, Susanna, you just have no idea how I love you.
Why are you going to give up telling me so from morning to night, stupid?
When I can prove it from night until morning.
There's your kiss back, sir. I want nothing more of you now.
But that's not what you said when you gave it to me. Oh dear charming girl. Forever laughing and blooming and full of gaiety and wit and charming and wholly delightful and yet prudent. And so, my Lord Count, you would do me down so quickly, would you? I wondered, having put me in charge of the castle, why he wanted to take me with him as courier on embassy. I've got the idea now, Your Highness. While I am galloping in one direction, you will be progressing nicely in another, with my little wife. I shall be going through rain and mud for the greater glory of your family, while you will be condescending with the increase in mine. Pretty sort of reciprocity. But it is too much, my lord. to be doing both the job of your master and your valet. It's too much by half. Oh, and Basile, oh, you old hound! I'll teach you to run with the dogs. No. We shall have to dissimulate if we put one against the other. Look to the day's work, Master Figaro. First take care of the hour of your wedding. Make sure the ceremony is taking place. Then head off Marceline, who's so deucedly fond of you. Pocket the presents and the money. Thwart his lordship's little game. Give Master Basile a good thrashing and... here comes the portly doctor. Now the party will be complete. Excuse me. Good day, my dear doctor. It isn't my Susanna that brings you to the castle.
Not at all, my good sir. Not at all.
No, that would be far too generous on your part.
It would indeed, too absurd for anything.
I having had the misfortune of thwarting your own marriage.
Have you anything else to say?
Are they taking good care of your mule?
Incorrigible babbler, leave us!
Oh, you're not getting annoyed, are you, doctor? Men in your position are hard, so very hard. No pity for poor animals, not unlike they were. Hello, Marceline. Are you still so anxious to put me in court? Because one loves not, one must live with oneself. I leave it to the doctor.
What's that?
She'll tell you all about it. And a lot more.
Just the same scoundrel as ever. If he leaves the gallows, I predict he'll end up as the most insolent, outrageous...
Our everlasting doctor, always so grave and formal, that one might die waiting for your help, just as a certain person got married in spite of all your precautions.
Nasty-minded and spiteful as ever. Anyhow, why is my presence required at the castle? Has the Lord my Count had some mishap?
No, doctor.
Rosine, his deceitful countess, is perhaps unwell? Heaven be praised.
She's listless, languished, pining away.
What's wrong with her?
Her husband neglects her.
Ah, noble husband, he avenges me.
One doesn't know just how to describe the Count. He's both dissolute and jealous.
Dissolute from boredom, jealous from vanity. Ha, that goes without saying.
Today, for example, he's giving our Susanna in marriage to his man Figaro. The union is a method of showing his favor.
A union in which His Excellency has made necessary?
Not entirely, but who won His Excellency would like a share in celebrating with the bride.
No doubt an arrangement could be made.
Basile says not.
That scoundrel's here too, incident of thieves! What's he doing here?
All the mischief he can. The worst thing from my point of view is the tiresome fancy he's so long had for me.
You could easily get rid of his attentions.
How?
By marrying him.
Cruel mocker! Why didn't you get rid of me the same way? Was that what you ought to have done? Have you no memory of your obligations? What became of our little Emmanuel? Fruit of our forgotten passion which would have led us to the altar!
Did you have me come from Sevilla to listen to this sort of nonsense? If you were so full of enthusiasm for marriage.
We'll say no more about it. But since nothing could induce you to do the right thing and marry me, at least let me marry someone else.
By all means, let's discuss it. But what mortal, abandoned of gods and women, could it be?
Why, who else could it be but the gay, handsome Figaro?
That scoundrel.
Never angry, always good-humored, living for the pleasure of the moment, caring as little about the future as the past, and generous. Generous as...
As a thief!
As a lord! He's utterly charming. Them's a cruel monster.
And what of his Susanna?
She shall never have him, cunning little thing though she is. If you'll help, Doctor, to ensure an obligation he has to me.
What, on their wedding day?
It's never too late to break him off. It weren't for giving away feminine secrets.
Do women have any secrets from their doctors?
You know I have none from you. Our sex is ardent but timid. As much we are attracted to pleasure, the most venturesome of women hears a voice within her say, be kind if you can, wise if you will, but circumspect you must. So as one must at least be circumspect, as everyone realizes, let us first frighten Susanna into any possible disclosures of the offers which are being made to her.
Where does that lead us to?
Shame will drive her to persist in saying no to the Count, when revenge will throw his weight against the marriage, so mine will be assured.
By Jove, she's right. It would be a good stroke of luck to marry off my old governess to the rascal who robbed me of my young mistress.
And who attacked his own pleasure by disappointing me.
And once robbed me of 100 crowns, which I still haven't forgotten.
Oh, what a satisfaction it will be.
To punish a scoundrel.
To marry him, Doctor, to marry him.
To marry him, to marry him. Who, my Figaro?
Why, you are for marrying him, aren't you?
Now for a fine slinging match between two angry women. We were saying, my dear Susie, how fortunate he'll be in possessing a girl such as you.
Not to mention my lord the Count.
Your servant, madame. There's always something nasty about your remarks.
Oh, and I yours. What is there nasty in that, may I ask? Isn't it right that so liberal a nobleman has a share in the happiness he procures from his servants?
Procures.
That was the word I used.
Fortunately, your jealousy is as notorious as your claims on Figaro are slight.
I would have strengthened them had I cared to cement them by the same methods as yours.
Oh, the methods are well known to ladies of your learning and experience.
And have you no experience? Innocent as a sin, eh?
Goodbye, sweetheart of Master Figaro.
And object of my lord's secret understanding.
Well, doing the highest esteem.
Would she not give me the honor of adding another measure of affection?
You may be sure that I'll leave you nothing to desire but respect, madame.
Such a pretty young lady.
Sufficiently so to spoil your satisfaction.
And above all, so careful of her reputation.
Reputation one leads to one else.
Marceline!
Let us go, Doctor, or I shan't be able to control myself. Get you, madame!
Beyond you pedantic old hag! Little I care for you or your insults. The old witch, just because she's had some education and made her ladyship miserable when she was young, she thinks she can domineer over the whole castle. I don't remember what I came in here for.
Oh, Susie, it didn't pass hour for a chance to catch you alone. Alas, you're getting married, now I'm going away.
What has my marriage to do with the departure of his lordship's favorite page?
Susanna, he's sending me away.
Oh, Carabine, have you done something silly again?
He caught me with your cousin Fanchette yesterday evening. I was putting her through her part for tonight. He was fierce when he saw me, though. Get out, he said, you little... Well, I didn't repeat the rude word he used on a lady. You little... You shan't sleep another night in this castle. So up, Susanna, unless her ladyship, my dear godmother, can get him to relent. I shall never see you anymore.
See me, so it's my turn now? It's no longer the mistress you're secretly sighing for.
Oh, Susie, she's noble and beautiful. But how unapproachable.
You mean that I'm not, and with me you dare hope?
You know only too well, you naughty thing, that I daren't hope for anything at all. But how lucky you are to see her all the time, to talk to her, to dress her in the morning and undress her at night, one pin after another. Oh, Susie, I'd give... What's that you have there?
Alas, the fortunate ribbon that does up your fair godmother's hair for the night.
Ribbon? These?
Oh, no, you don't, sweetheart, forsooth. How familiar it is getting. If only you were just a stodgy little good-for-nothing. Hey, the ribbon!
You can tell I've got torn, dirty, lost. Anything you like.
What a worthless scamp you'll be when you're a year too older. Give me the ribbon!
Don't, Susie. I'll give you my ballad. And when the memory of Mr. Sad's my days, thoughts of you will be my one consolation.
Your one consolation, you young scamp. Do you think you're talking to that Finch head of yours? You're caught with her, and yet you'll sigh for your mistress. Now, on top of all of that, you're trying to get on with me?
Upon my word, it's quite true. I don't know what's coming over me. For some time now, I have this strange feeling within me. My pulse quickens at the thought of every woman. The word love makes my heart go pit-a-pat. In fact, I feel such a need to say I love you to somebody that I catch myself saying it to myself walking in the park. To your beautiful mistress, to you. To the trees, to the clouds, to the winds which wax them away with my fleeting words. Yesterday I met Marceline. Why not? She's a woman. Woman, girl, maiden. How thrilling the words are.
He's going to be.
Chet is kind. She does listen to me. You are a kind jaw.
Oh, a pity, isn't it? Now listen, young man.
Oh, would you? Only over my dead body, of course. If that's not enough, shall we say, plus 1,000 kisses.
Plus 1,000 slaps if you come near me. I shall complain to the mistress. So far from interceding for you, I'll say to his lordship, you did well, my lord. Send him away, the little thief. Send him home to his family, the nasty little thing. He has the audacity to be in love with the mistress, and yet he wants to be kissing me too.
You're done for!
What's he frightened of? Oh!
You are excited, Susie. Talking to yourself in your little heart, going pit-pat. Very understandable, of course, on such a day.
What do you want of me, my lord? Suppose anyone found you in here with me.
Oh, I should be very sorry indeed if they did. But you know what an interest I take in you. Bazille must have let you know. I only have a moment to explain. Listen.
I won't listen.
You know the king has appointed me his ambassador in London. I'm taking Figaro with me. And as a wife's duty is to follow her husband.
How only I dare speak.
Oh, well, speak, my dear. Take advantage of your influence over me, here and now. An influence I will endure.
I wish you're not, sir. I wish you're not. Leave me, I beseech you.
But tell me first.
I don't remember what I was saying.
Well, you were speaking of wifely duty.
Very well, since you rescued your own wife from the doctor and married her for love, since at that instance you abolished a certain horrible
Oh,
privilege.
to the great disappointment of the girls. Oh, Susie, a charming custom. Well, if only you would come and talk about it with me in the garden this evening, I'd make the favor so worth your while.
He's not at home, sir.
Whose voice was that?
Oh, unhappy me.
Go in case anyone comes in.
And leave you here.
His lordship was with my lady. He's out. I'll go and inquire.
Oh, nowhere to hide. Ah, the armchair. That's not much good, so send him away quickly.
Haven't you seen his lordship, miss?
Why should I have seen him? Get out.
Oh, if only you were more reasonable, you would see that there's nothing surprising in my question. It's, Figaro who's looking for him.
Then he's looking for the man who next after you wishes him most harm.
Now we'll see what kind of servant I have.
So to wish a woman well is to wish her husband harm?
Not according to your horrible ideas, agent of corruption that you are.
What is being asked of you is that you aren't going to lavish on another? Thanks to one little ceremony was forbidden of you today will be required of you tomorrow.
Shame!
Considering what a farce it is to take marriage so seriously, I had in mind...
Horrible things, no doubt. Anyhow, who gives you permission to come in here?
There, Spitfire. May heaven teach you patience. You shall have your own way, but don't think that I regard Master Figaro as any obstacle in my Lord Pitchpick's way. As for that little page...
What, Master Carabine?
Carabino di Amore, that dear little cherub who's always hanging around you, and only this morning was prowling about, waiting to get in when I left. That's true, isn't it?
What a tale! Go away, horrid man!
Because I don't go about with my eyes shut, I'm a horrid man. Wasn't this ballad he makes such a fuss about intended for you?
Oh yes, intended for me.
Always assuming he didn't write about it later. They say he can't keep his eyes off her when he's serving at the table. My goodness, don't let him play any tricks in that quarter. His lordship has no mercy on that sort of thing.
Are you knave enough to go spreading gossip to ruin an unfortunate lad who's already in disgrace with his master?
Did I invent it? I'm only repeating what everybody's saying.
And what is everybody saying?
Ha ha!
Off you go, Bazille. Haven't turned out at once.
How I wish I hadn't come in.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, she's going to faint. Oh, sitting down in the armchair.
No, not to sit down. Fancy him coming in like that, it's disgusting.
Well, there are two of us here, my dear. There's not the slightest danger now.
I'm sorry I made a joke about the page. Since you can hear me, I'll need you to figure out what he really meant. At the bottom...
Give him 50 crowns and a horse and send him home to his family.
But my lord, all because of a little joke?
The little reprobate? I already surprised him once today with a gardener's daughter.
With Fanchette?
In her bedroom at that.
Where my lord no doubt has business as well.
I like that.
It's a good argument.
No, I was just going to see your uncle, Antonio, my drunkard of a gardener, to give him his instructions. I knock. There's some time before the door is open, and your cousin looks a bit nervous, so I become suspicious. Still carrying on the conversation, I take a look around. There is a curtain behind the door, a wardrobe of some sort, so slowly and stealthily I lift the curtain, and what do I see? Ah! Just like last time. Better. Very nice. Not even married yet, and already up to all the tricks. You wanted to be alone so you could receive my page, hmm? As for you, young man, Your behavior is all of pieces. You have so little respect for your mistress as to address her maid to the wife of your best friend. But I will not allow Figaro, a man I love and esteem, to be the victim of such deception. Was he with you, Bazil?
There was no deception and no victim. He was here all the time you were talking to me.
Oh, how can you tell such an untruth? His worst enemy wouldn't wish him such misfortune.
He had come me to ask your lady to intercede for him. He was so frightened by your arrival that he hid behind a chair.
Now, what a diabolical fib I sat in it when I came in.
Alas, my lord, I was shivering behind it.
Another fabrication? I was just there myself.
Pardon me, but it is then when I think myself in it.
No little snake overheard all we said.
On the contrary, my lord, I did my best not to hear anything.
Oh, the perfidity! You shan't marry Figaro now.
Hush! I hear somebody coming.
He shall stand for all the world to see.
No one but your ladyship can obtain this favor for us.
You see what they are, my lord. They credit me with an influence which I do not enjoy, but since what they ask is not unreasonable.
It would have me very much so before.
Back me up.
No use.
Try or the same.
Well, what do you want?
My lord, your vassals, gratified by the abolishment of a certain objectionable privilege, which you, out of your love for my lady...
All right, the privilege is abolished. What do you wish to say?
Merely that it is high time for the accomplishments of so good a master be publicly acclaimed. Since I take such signal benefit from this day, I would ask that my marriage be the first celebration.
No, you are mistaken, my friend. The abolition of a shameful custom is no more than what is due in common decency. A Spaniard may aspire to achieve the conquest of beauty by his own assiduities, but to exact the first, the most precious enjoyment of it is a servile requirement. That's the tyranny of a Vandal, not the privilege of a noble Castilian.
Permit me then, my lord, this young woman, whose honor your wisdom has preserved, be publicly accepted at your hand as a symbol of the purity of your intentions. This virginal toque adorned with them white flowers and ribbons, accept this ceremony for all future marriages, and may the verses which we sing in chorus forever preserve her memory.
If I didn't know that every musician, lover, and poet, for every title, for every sort of folly...
Join with me, friends! His lordship, his lordship!
Why seek to avoid a tribute you have so well deserved?
Perfidious creature.
Oh, but look at her, my lord. No fairer beauty shall ever exemplify the magnitude of your sacrifice.
Oh, stop talking about me and concentrate on praising his virtue.
What a game!
My lord, I join my plea to theirs. I shall always cherish the memory of a ceremony which has its origins in the love you once bore me.
Oh, and still do, madame. And to that consideration I yield.
Viva!
I'm caught. Yes, well, I would only suggest that the ceremony may be postponed so that it would be more effectively known. Yes, quite right, effectively known. Quick, go find Marceline.
Hey, little scamp, why aren't you applauding?
Oh, he's in despair. His lordship has banished him.
Ah, sir, I ask for clemency on his behalf.
He doesn't deserve it.
Alas, he's so young.
Not so young as you think.
The right to pardon generously was not one you renounced when you married her lady.
If the right to pardon were the one his lordship had renounced, surely it would be the first one he would wish to resume.
Of course.
Then what need to resume it? It's true, my lord, that I acted wisely, but I never talked indiscreetly.
All right, that's enough.
What does he mean?
Enough! All right, everybody wants him forgiven, and I agree. I shall go further. I shall give him a position on my regiment.
Viva!
On condition that he leave for Catalonia immediately.
My lord, tomorrow.
Immediately? That is my decision.
I obey.
Young man, go to your godmother and ask her to pray for your protection.
Go, young man, since we may not keep you even for a day. Destiny calls. Go and fulfill it worthily. Do credit to your benefactor, and remember this house, where your youth has found such indulgence. Be obedient, honorable, and brave. We shall rejoice in your successes.
Your ladyship is greatly moved.
I don't deny it. Who knows what may be the fate of a boy thrown into a career of such danger? He is my kinsman, and what is more, my godchild.
Young man, salute Susanna for the last time.
Oh, but why the last time, my lord? He'll come back for his winter leave. Oh, kiss me too, Captain. Mwah, mwah. Oh, Carabine, you're going off to live a very different life. Very different indeed. No more running around chasing the girls all day. No more pig or blind man's buff. No more cream buns, custard tarts, soldiers of the queen. My God, just think of the look of them. All weather-beaten and rugged arse, weighed down with their muskets, knowing nothing but to right turn and left wheel and forward march on to the field of glory, and no flinching in the way, unless you're good round shot.
Oh, for goodness sake!
What a prospect.
Where is Marceline? It's very odd that she's not with you people.
She went into town by the little path by the farm.
When will she be back?
In God's good time.
If only he'd keep her away for good.
The doctor was with her.
The doctor is here, is he?
She buttonholed him as soon as he arrived.
He couldn't have come at a better time.
She was very annoyed and she talked loudly as she went along, and then she stopped and did like this with open arms, and then the doctor did like this, trying to calm her down. She was terribly angry and kept mentioning Cousin Figaro.
My cousin, no, future husband is...
My lord, have you forgiven us for yesterday?
Yes, that's quite all right, dear. That's quite all right.
She's brooding over her confounded affection for me. She was trying to upset our wedding.
She'll upset it yet, I promise you that. let us go, my dear. Basile, I shall want you.
Are you coming back to see me?
Have you got him on the hook?
Silly boy.
Now, you two. One stage of the ceremony over, my celebrations follow this evening. Let us go over our plans. And let us not be like some actors who never do so terribly as the night when all the critics are in the house.
My part's more difficult than you would think.
Ah, yes, but you think little of what reward it will bring you.
But my dear Figaro, you forget that I am leaving.
And you would rather stay?
Only I could.
Not one word of complaint about your leaving. Put your traveling cloak over your arm and do all your packing. Gallop as far as the farm, but return by foot the back way. His lordship will think you are gone. You just take care to keep out of his sight and leave it to me to pacify him after the celebrations are over.
But Fanchette doesn't know her part.
Then what the deuce have you been teaching her this last week? You've been with her the whole time.
Oh, you've got nothing to do today. Give her an extra lesson.
Be careful, young man. Her father's not pleased that the girl's had her ears boxed. It's not study she's been doing with you. Oh, Carabine, you'll get yourself into trouble one of these days. The pitcher can go to the well, you know.
Oh, listen to this old pedant and his proverbs. All right, then, yeah, go on. What does the wisdom of the ages say? The pitcher can go to the well, and then what? It gets filled. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Close the door, Susanna, and tell me exactly what happened.
I withheld nothing from you, madame.
So you really mean to say, Susie, he was endeavoring to seduce you?
Not at all. His lordship doesn't put himself as to that much trouble with the servant. He merely wanted a financial arrangement.
And the page was there all the time?
Behind the armchair, in fact, he had come in to persuade you to intercede for him.
Why didn't he come to me? Should I refuse him, Susie?
That's what I told him, but he was so distressed at leaving, and particularly at parting from your ladyship. Ah, Susie, how noble and beautiful she is, but how unapproachable.
Do I really seem that way, Susie? I, who have always been his protector?
He no sooner saw your ribbon on my wrist than he fairly leapt at it.
My ribbon? What childishness.
I tried to get it back from him, but he felt like a lion, your ladyship. His eyes flashed. Over my dead body, he said in his shrill, high-pitched voice.
And then, Susie?
And then, madame, what can you do with such a young demon? On one hand, respect for his godmother. On the other, if only I could, because he daren't even venture to kiss the hem of your ladyship's gown. He wanted to embrace me, if you please.
What truce to these foolish things? So, my dear Susanna, my husband ended by telling me
But if I wouldn't listen to him, he would support Marceline.
he no longer loves me.
Then why is he so jealous?
Like all husbands, my dear, from pride, nothing more. Ah, I have loved him too dearly. I've wearied him with my solicitude and tired him with my love. That's the only offense I've been guilty of. But I don't intend to let you suffer for having rebuked. You shall marry your Figaro, for he is the only one who can help us. Is he coming back?
When he's seen the hunt move off.
Open the window, Lynn. Let's talk here.
Your ladyship takes so much out of herself.
Men are all the same, were it not for his persistence in avoiding me.
Oh, there he goes, riding across the park with Pedrillo and 2, 3, 4 greyhounds.
And then we still have time. Is that someone knocking?
Oh, it's my Figaro. Do come in, dear. Her ladyship is anxious to see you.
Then what about you, my dear Susanna? Ladyship has no reason to worry, and indeed, what good does it do? So his lordship finds a young woman attractive and wishes to make her his mistress. It's all very natural.
Natural?
Yes, and so he points me courier and Susanna counselor to the embassy. Not a bad idea at all, is it?
Oh, do give up.
But since she does not accept the honor he confers upon her, he instead takes up the cause of Marceline. Somebody thwarts one's own happiness, so one gets one's own back by upsetting theirs. Everybody does it, and it's what we are going to do too. That's all there is to it.
Figaro, how can you treat so lightly a scheme which threatens the happiness of every one of us?
Who says I do, your ladyship?
Instead of taking our troubles to heart,
Isn't it enough that I take them in hand? No. If we're going to do things as methodically as his lordship, we shall have to discourage his ardor for what is ours by giving him cause for concern for what is his.
All very well, but how?
Already done, your ladyship. A false report about you. A trifling scandal.
About me? Are you out of your mind?
He must be.
A man so jealous.
So much the better. One knows that if you're going to hit at men such as he, the first thing you must do is get them annoyed first. Oh, how well women know this. Once you get a man thoroughly enraged, a little maneuvering and you can do what you like with him. I've raised from Bazile to receive a letter from an unseen hand warning his lordship that a young man intends to meet you tonight at the ball.
You'll play tricks with the truth which involve a virtuous woman.
There are a few, madame, with whom I would have dared take the risk. Lest it prove to be true.
I suppose I'm to be thankful for that.
But don't think that I've arranged for this little day for his lordship to go around chasing and cursing his own wife when he meant to be ingratiating himself with mine. No, he's already quite beside himself, you know. He's galloping here and searching there, worried to death. Look, there he goes, charging across the country after a poor, helpless hare. The night of the wedding will soon be upon him, and he will have done nothing to stop it, and won't dare to do so in the presence of your ladyship.
no, but that old blue-stocking Marceline will.
Well, that worries me. Listen, you just make sure to tell his lordship that you intend to meet him at dusk in the garden.
You're still relying on that idea?
Listen to me. Folks who don't try never get anywhere. That's my opinion.
And very nice, too.
Are you going to let her go?
Of course not. I'll dress someone else up in her clothes. Once his lordship has called it the rendezvous, how will he get out of it?
And who are you dressing up in my clothes?
Carabine.
He's gone.
Not if I know anything. But will you leave it to me?
Since it's a question of intrigue, we can.
2, 3, 4 threads at once, all spun together into a bargain. I'm a courtier born.
Well, they say it's a difficult trade.
Receive, take, ask again. That's the secret to so many words.
He has so much confidence, he ends by inspiring me with it.
That's the intention.
You were saying?
That, while his lordship is gone, I'll send Carabine to you. You dress him up and do something with his hair. I'll teach him his part. And then... That's your lordship!
Oh, heavens, Susie. What a sight I am. This young man who's coming in.
Your ladyship doesn't mean to let him off.
Ah, you see how I'll scold him. My hair really is in a most dreadful state.
We only have 2 more curls to do. Your ladyship will scold him all the better. Oh. Come in, gallant officer. The ladies are at home.
Oh, how that word hurts me. It reminds me I have to go away and leave godmother, who was so kind.
And so beautiful.
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course. Poor little man with his sly downcast eyes. But have we told you, gallant sir, how we mean to enliven the evening? We want to see first whether you can get my dress on.
I fear not.
He's about my height. Let's have the coat off first.
Suppose someone were to come in.
We're doing nothing wrong. I'll lock the door. But first, I want to see what we can do about his hair.
There's a bonnet of mine in the closet. Now, until the very moment the ball begins, the Count won't know you are still at the castle. You'll explain to him afterwards that it was having to wait for your commission to be made out that suggested the idea to us.
Alas, madame, I already have it here. Bazile handed it to me.
So soon? They didn't mean to lose any time. They were in such a hurry they forgot to put the seal on it.
What seal on what?
On his commission.
Already?
That was what I said. Is that my bonnet?
It's the nicest one you have. Turn and face me, dearest love. Oh, madame, you look charming.
Make him look more girlish.
Oh, look at the little brat. Doesn't he make a pretty girl? I'm really quite jealous. Wouldn't you like to be pretty like that?
Silly. Tuck up the sleeve so that the undersleeve shows better. What's this on his wrist? A ribbon?
And one of yours, too. I'm very pleased your ladyship has seen it. I just got it back from him. His lordship hadn't come in. I'm nearly as strong as he is.
There's blood on it. Alas, madame, it happened this morning. Thinking I was leaving, I was arranging my horse's bed. But one would never use a ribbon to bandage.
Particularly a stolen one? What's this about curbs and bits and studs anyway? I don't understand a word of it. Just look how white his arm is, your ladyship. It's like a girl's whiter than mine. Just look.
You would do better to get me the bandages. And as to the ribbon, sir, the color particularly suits me, and I should have been very sorry to have lost it.
How are we going to tie it up?
While you were looking for clothes for him, take the ribbon out of a different one. The one I had would soon have made it better. How? When a ribbon is used to bind the hair or touched by the skin of someone, some person,
No, it acquires healing properties, eh? I wasn't aware of it.
I'll keep the one which bound your arm just to try. And the next time one of my women cuts herself, we'll see what happens. So you shall keep it, and I shall go away.
Not forever.
I'm so unhappy.
Oh, he's about to cry. It's all because of what that wicked Figaro said about soldiers.
Ah, what a wicked moment he foretold. Were I sure of dying here and now? Perchance my lips would venture.
There, child. What nonsense do you talk? Who's that knocking?
Why are you locked in?
Oh, heavens, my husband! You're here without your coat, neck bare, alone here with me, everything in disorder, and he'll have had the letter.
Are you going to open?
I'm alone.
Alone? Then to whom are you talking?
You, of course. Whoever been next to me this morning will kill me on the spot. How could we be so foolish?
You don't usually lock yourself in.
I was sewing. Yes, I was doing some sewing with Susanna, and she's just gone into her room.
You look worried.
It's not surprising, not in the least. We were just talking about you.
Oh, well, talking about me, were you? Well, I came back because I'm concerned about a letter that was put into my hands just as I was about to mount my horse. Now, I don't believe a word of it, but all the same, I'm concerned.
Why? What letter?
Well, the fact is, madame, there's some pretty disreputable people about. It's been told to me that some man will be venturing to see you today, unknown to me.
Well, whoever he is, he'll have to come in here. I don't intend on leaving my room today.
Even though Susanna is getting married this evening?
Not on any account. I'm not feeling well.
Oh, well, fortunately the doctor is here. What was that noise?
What noise?
Somebody knocked something over.
I didn't hear anything.
You must be terribly preoccupied.
Preoccupied with what?
There's someone in that room, madame.
And whom do you imagine it could be?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. I've only just come.
It must be Susanna. Apparently she's looking for something.
You said she'd gone to her room.
She went out somewhere. In there or somewhere else. I don't know just where.
Why are you so concerned about Susanna?
Concerned about my maid.
I don't know about remake, but you certainly are concerned, madame.
What is certain, sir, is that you are concerned about her much more than I am.
Well, I am so far concerned, madame, that I wish to see her immediately.
I believe you often do see her, sir, but I assure you there's nothing in your suspicion.
Well, then they'll be more easily disposed of. Answer, Susie! Are you there?
She's practically undressed. She was trying on some dresses I was giving her as a wedding present, and she ran in there when she heard you come.
If she won't be seen, she can at least make herself heard. Answer, Susie! Are you there?
Susie, I forbid you to reply. Who ever heard of such outrageous behavior?
All right, madame. If she won't make herself heard, I shall see her. Dressed or undressed.
Oh, I may not be able to prevent it elsewhere, but I should hope that here in my own room.
All right, madame. I will know who this mysterious Susanna is. I suppose there's no use in asking you for the key, but there's no difficulty in me breaking the door in. Hello there!
Go on, call your servants, cause a public scandal, make us the talk of the castle.
All right, madame. I'll just go and get what I need. But so that everything remains as it is, will you be good enough to come with me and avoid the gossip and the scandal you find so displeasing? You won't refuse me such a simple request.
Sir, who would think of refusing you anything?
The door to the maid's quarters. I must lock it so you can be fully justified.
Oh, heavens, what a dreadful obstinacy.
All right, the door is secured. Now, madame, may I offer you my arm? And to this Susanna in the dressing room. Will she be good enough to wait for me should any harm come to her before my return?
Really, sir, this is too horrible.
Susanna, open it, come out.
Oh, Susie, what a dreadful business.
Out you go, you haven't long till soon.
But how?
I don't know, but you must.
Supposing there isn't a way out.
After what's just happened, I'll kill you, and it would be the end of all of us. Run until figure out what's happened.
Perhaps not too big a drop out the garden window.
It's the whole story. Impossible! Oh, my poor mistress and my wedding, oh heavens!
It's over the kitchen garden. I might get away with it at the price of stealing a few of his flower beds.
He'll kill himself.
Into the flaming pit itself, Susie, rather than any harm to come to her mistress. A kiss for good luck.
Ah! Oh, he's already quite a ways away. The young scamp is nimble as he's pretty. If he ever wants for women, I better take his place in the dressing room. Now your highness can break the lock. That little word will I answer.
Now, madame, before you oblige me to break open the door once again, will you open?
Oh, sir, whatever can induce you to destroy our relationship. Were love that drove you to such fury, I could excuse your moderation. I could perhaps forget if that were the reason how offensive were your methods of showing it. But can mere vanity drive a man of honor to such excesses?
Love or vanity, you shall open the door, or I am...
Stop, sir. Do you really think I can be so wanting in self-respect?
I'll believe anything you like, madame. I just mean to see who is in the dressing room.
Very well, sir, you shall see. Only listen a moment.
Then it isn't Susanna.
At least it is someone whom you can't be mistrustful of. We were preparing a joke, an entirely innocent joke for this evening, and I assure you...
Of what do you assure me?
We had no intention of offending you. He or I.
He? So it's a man?
Boy, sir.
Who is it?
I hardly dare mention his name.
I'll kill him!
Great heavens!
Speak!
Young Carabine.
Carabine! The impudent scoundrel! All my suspicions in the letter are justified!
Please don't think that...
Come, madame, open. You could have spared your emotions when you took leave of him this morning. Had he gone when I commanded him to, you wouldn't have to resort to such deceit in your story about Susanna, had there been nothing wrong in it.
I was afraid you'd be angry if you saw him.
Come out, you little wretch!
Sir, your anger gives him concern for his safety. Please don't harbor any unjust suspicions. Don't let his disordered dress...
His disordered dress.
Alas, sir, he was getting ready to dress as a woman. My bonnet on his head, and his shirt without his coat, neck bare. He was going to try on...
And you were going to keep to your room. Unworthy wife. You shall keep to it, and for a long time too. But first I'll punish the impudent scoundrel so I don't have to run across him anywhere anymore.
Oh, sir, please, I shall never forgive myself for having caused...
You're concern for him aggravates his offense.
He's not to blame. He was going away. It was I who recalled him.
Get up and be gone. How dare you plead for him?
Right, sir, I will get up. I will leave, and I even give you the key to the dressing room. But in the name of your love for me...
My love for you, perfidious creature.
Promise that you will let the boy go unharmed, and then you may vent all your fury out on me if I cannot convince you.
I'll hear no more.
Oh, heavens, it is the end of him.
Susanna!
Oh, kill him, oh, kill him. Kill him then, the wretched page.
Oh, what a sell. And you too, madame, pretending to be astonished. But perhaps she's not alone.
Pull yourself together, madame. He's far enough away. He jumped out.
Oh, Susie, I shall never survive it.
There was no one there. I was entirely wrong. Madame, you are quite an actress.
And I, my lord.
So you're pleased to joke, madame?
And why not, sir?
Well, a pretty dreadful sort of joke. What's the point of it, I ask you?
I marry you to be delivered to such perpetual neglect and jealousy, such as only you dare justify.
Oh, madame, it was not intentional.
Her ladyship need only have let you call the servants.
True. I have reason to be ashamed. Forgive me, madame, I'm not quite myself.
You must admit, my lord, that you did deserve it a little.
But why didn't you come out when I called you, you wretch?
I was getting dressed, fitting myself together, and besides, her ladyship had told me not to, and she did quite right.
Why don't you help me gain her forgiveness instead of harping on my errors?
No, sir, an outrage of this kind cannot be forgiven. I shall retire into a convent. I can see that it is more than time that I did so.
And, could you do so without some regrets?
It would be a sad day for everyone, I'm sure.
Would it were so, Susie, but better regrets than the humiliation of forgiving him.
Rosine!
I am no longer the Rosine whom you wooed so assiduously. I am the Countess Almaviva, the sad and neglected wife whom you no longer love.
Oh, madame.
For pity's sake!
You had none for me.
It was a letter that made my blood boil.
I wasn't responsible for that.
True, but you knew of it.
It was that stupid Figaro.
He was in it?
He handed it to Bazile.
Who said he had got it from a peasant? Oh, treacherous music master, you shall pay for the whole lot!
You ask forgiveness for yourself, but you deny it to others. That's men exactly. Supposing I were to forgive you on the grounds that you were provoked by the letter, it would have to be a general pardon.
With all my heart. But how can I make up for so heinous a fault?
The fault was on both sides.
Oh, no. Sin was on mine only. What is beyond my comprehension is how women can so quickly and convincingly assume the air and tone that circumstances require. You blushed. You wept. You seemed embarrassed. Well, upon my word, you still do.
I blushed from resentment at your suspicions, but men are not significantly sensitive to tell between righteous indignation and guilty embarrassment.
But what about the page in this state of disorder, undressed, almost naked?
She's before you now. Aren't you glad you found her instead of who you were expecting to find?
And what of the entreaties and the feigned tears?
You make me laugh, but it's no laughing matter.
We husbands think we know something of dissimulation, but we are only children. It is you, madame, who the king should be sending as his ambassador to London. How women must study the art of controlling their demeanor to such a degree.
You men drive us to it.
Regard us as prisoners on parole, and you'll see whether we can be trusted.
Let us leave it at that, but my forbearance under such great provocation ought to at least ensure me yours.
Well, then, do you confirm that you do forgive me?
Did I ever say that I would, Susie?
I didn't hear your ladyship.
Oh, well, say it now, then.
Do you deserve it, ungrateful man?
Has my repentance not earned it?
Thinking there was a man in her ladyship's dressing room.
She has punished me severely.
Not believing her when she said it was her maid.
Are you really that implacable, Rosine?
Ah, Susie, how weak I am. What an example I set you. No one will believe in a woman's resentment anymore.
Ah, well, don't we always come to this with them in the end?
I heard your ladyship was unwell. I came as quickly as I'm pleased to see that it was nothing.
You are very attentive.
It is my duty, sir. But since there's nothing in it, there are men and women below with violins and horns waiting to conduct me. If you'll permit me to conduct my
And who is going to stay and look after the Countess in the castle?
Stay and look out. She isn't ill.
No, but what about the man who is venturing to see her today?
What man?
The man in the letter that you gave to Basil.
Who said I did?
If no one had told me, you dog, your own face would accuse you and prove you a liar.
Then I'm sorry, sir. My face must be lying. I'm not.
My lord, dear Figaro, don't waste words in denying. We have told everything.
And what have you told? What do you take me for, Basil?
We told how you wrote the letter so that when his lordship came in, he would believe the page was in the dressing room where I was hiding.
And what do you say to that?
There's nothing to hide now, Figaro. The joke's over.
The joke is over?
Yes, all over. What do you say to that?
Merely that I wish I could say the same about my marriage. So as soon as you'll give me your permission.
Then you admit about the letter.
Well, if it's what her ladyship wants, and it's what Susie wants, and it's what you want, then it must be what I want too. But if I were in your place, my lord, I really wouldn't think anything of it.
You still go lying through the teeth of the evidence. I shall end by getting annoyed.
Lord man, do you really insist you tell the truth for once?
I warned him of this danger. I couldn't be expected to do otherwise.
Have you seen the page?
He's still a bit shaken.
Oh, poor boy.
Come, my lord, they're longing to be alone. Let us go down to the ceremony.
Marceline, oh, I would just like to get changed for the occasion.
For our own servants, I haven't.
My lord!
What do you want, Antonio?
I want bars on the windows that open up to my flower beds. They chucked all sorts of things down. They've just thrown an entire man out.
Out of these windows.
Just have a look at my wallflowers.
Look out, Figaro, look out.
My lord, he's been drunk all the morning.
That's where you are wrong. It's a hangover from yesterday. See how they jump to erroneous conclusions.
Where is this man? Where is he?
Where is he?
Yes!
Well, that's just what I want to know. See, I'm your lordship's servant, the only man who cares about your garden, and the man comes jumping into it. You see, my reputation is in
Get him off the subject.
So you will keep on drinking.
I should go mad if I didn't.
But why drink so much?
Drinking's all that separates men from beasts, madam. Drinking when we are thirsty and making love whenever we do.
Answer my question or I shall send you away!
And you think I should go?
What are you talking about?
If you don't have enough up here to keep a good servant, I might have enough up here to get rid of a good master.
You said someone had been thrown out of this window!
In a white shirt he was, and he ran off. He gagged like...
And then?
Well, I would have run after him, but I'd given myself such a clout against the gate I couldn't lift a finger.
Well, anyways, you'd recognize this fellow.
Aye, that I would. If I had a good look at him.
We didn't see who it was.
What a fuss about a plant pot. How much do you want for it, you old misery? Look no further, my lord. I was the man who jumped out the window.
You
were? You looked a great deal shorter and skinnier then.
Of course. One crouches when jumping.
I would have said it was more that whippersnapper of a page.
Carry me!
Yes, on leave from Sevilla, with his horse, on purpose to do it.
I didn't say that. I didn't see no horses jumped out, or I would have said so.
Heaven grant me patience.
My lord, I was in the bedroom in a white shirt. It was so hot. I heard your lordship's voice and a great to-do, and don't ask me why, but I took fright because of the letter and decided to jump out the window. I do admit it was foolish. I think I twisted my ankle a bit. Ow!
Well, if it were you, I should probably give you this piece of paper that fell out of your pocket.
Give it to me.
Caught.
Well, I suppose the fright and the fall would have made you forget what is in this letter, or how it came to be in your pocket.
Of course not. But I have so many letters and all to reply to. This is from example. Yes, from Marceline. Very pretty, too. What could this be? The letter from that poor, unfortunate poacher who's in jail? Oh, wait, no, that's in the other pocket. I have the inventory for the palace furniture somewhere in here.
Susie, it's his officer's warrant. Todd's lost. It's the warrant for his commission.
Can't you guess? And you a man of so many resources.
His lordship says, can't you guess?
Don't come shoving it to me, you clown!
What is this letter?
Well, it will be the letter for commission for that poor, unfortunate boy. He gave it to me, and I forgot to give it back to him. Really silly. I'll just be going and...
Why should he have given it to you?
He wanted me to do something with it.
There's nothing omitted.
The seal. The seal's missing.
You don't reply.
He said custom. He said it was custom to...
Oh, yes! Of course. Custom! 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 Come here.
Custom, of course, custom.
What custom? Custom to... What?
To seal it with your seal. Though, I do admit, looking back, it may not have been worth the trouble.
All right, it's apparent that I'm to know nothing. This fellow Figaro is always at the bottom of everything. If only I could get my own back.
Don't use the authority, my lord! Before you show him any favors, you must do justice between us. He has obligations to me.
What sort of obligations? Explain yourself.
I'll explain myself, you scoundrel.
What's it all about, Marceline?
A promise of marriage.
A receipt for money lent, nothing more.
On condition that he marries me. You are a great nobleman, Chief Justice of the province.
Marceline, present your case before the court. There I do justice to each and all.
In that case, will your highness permit me to establish my claims on Marceline?
There's my rascally friend of the letter.
Another fool of the same sort.
Your claims! Your claims! You do well to talk of your claims, you blockhead of blockheads!
Got him first time, that is him to a T.
Marceline, everything will be held up pending examination of your claims. It will be held publicly at the Great Hall. Basile, trusty and reliable agent that you are, going to town and fetch the members of the bench.
For his case?
Yes, and once more, find the peasant who gave you the letter.
How do I know him?
Do you refuse?
I didn't come to the castle for an errand.
Then what did you come for?
As village organist, teach the heart and court to your ladyship, of singing to your ladies, and of mandolin to the pages. Apart from that, my major responsibility is to entertain your lordship's guests with my guitar when it may please your highness to ask for it.
I'll go, my lord, as it please you.
Who are you and what is your job?
I am Dwight Soleil, my lord. I be the husband for the goats, and after all that made me a lot do it.
Your zeal pleases me. Off you go. Basile, accompany this man and play the guitar for him on the way. He is one of my guests.
What? I be one?
I am to go with Gripe Soleil and play.
It is what you are here for. Go off or I'll sack you.
I'm not going to argue with Kettle, since I'm only...
A mug!
I'll go and make sure of my own marriage with Marceline instead of helping theirs. Take my advice. Don't settle anything until I come back.
Don't settle anything. Be off! I'm not worried. Not even if you never come back. You don't seem to be singing. Come now, let's have a song for the bride. Rather than riches, I choose a goodness.
That foolish man of yours has got me into with his letter.
Oh, you should have seen your own face when they came out of the dressing room. First you went white as a sheet, but it was only a passing moment. And then how you blushed,
And he really jumped out the window?
Without hesitation, the dear boy is light as a feather.
And that fatal gardener, I couldn't think of a thing. I thought I should have died.
On the contrary, madame, it was then when I realized how moving in high society teaches a lady to tell fibs without showing it at all.
Do you think the Count was taken in? Suppose he were to find the boy was still at the castle.
I'll tell him to keep so well hidden.
You can see that after what just happened, I'm not anxious to send him in the garden in place of you.
Well, I'm certainly not going now that my marriage is again.
Wait. Instead of sending you or someone else, suppose I went myself.
You, madame?
No one else need run any risk. The Count wouldn't be able to deny it, having proven his jealousy and unfaithfulness. It would be... Come, we have been lucky once. I'm tempted to try it again. Let the Count know that you will meet him in the garden, but above all, tell no one else.
What about Figaro?
No, he'll just want to put his own over it. Get me my parasol from the closet and I'll go out and think about it. It's quite audacious, my little scheme. Oh, my ribbon. I've forgotten about you. I shan't part with you. You remind me of the affair of the young boy. Oh, my lord the Count, what have you done? What am I doing now?
Your parasol, madame.
Remember, you can't say a word to Figaro.
Madame, I've just been thinking about it. It's a delightful scheme. It ties everything together, rounds it all off, and brings everything to a conclusion. And whatever happens, my marriage is certain.
You understand?
Yes, Your Excellency.
Monterey?
Excellency?
No one has seen you.
Not a soul.
Take the arrow.
He's at the gate, saddled and ready.
Right. Straight to Sevilla.
Only 3 leagues and a good road.
And when you've gotten there, find out if the page has arrived.
At the house?
Yes, and once more, find out how long he's been there.
I understand.
Deliver him his commission, and come back at once.
But if he is not there...
Come back a little quicker. Let me know. Off you go. Oh. I made the mistake in sending Basile away. Temper is no help at all. The letter warning me of a plot against the Countess. Her mistress in a state of distress. The maid shut in the dressing room. And a man throwing himself out of a window. And another man pretending it was he. I don't get the thread of it. There's something not clear somewhere. And the Countess. Suppose someone were to try to... What am I talking about? She was just having a joke. The suppressed laughter, the joy that she could hardly repress. But on the other hand, what am I getting myself to? Has that cheat Susanna given me away? She's not married to him yet. This fellow Figaro always keeps one waiting. I must sound him carefully and find out by some means if he knows how I feel about Susanna.
Now for it.
If she said a single word to him,
I'm under suspicion.
I'll make him marry the old woman.
Master Basile's fancy, eh?
And then we'll see what can be done with this lovely girl.
My wife, if you don't mind.
Oh, what was that?
Oh, you sent for me, sir.
Yes, but what were you saying?
I said nothing.
My wife, if you don't mind.
That was the end of sentence. I was telling someone, go tell my wife, if you don't mind.
And, well, may I inquire what business could be detaining you, sir, when I called for you?
I got myself rather dirty when I fell into those flower beds. I've been changing.
Does that take an hour?
It takes a while.
The servants in this house take longer to dress than their masters.
Well, of course, but there's no servants to assist them.
I still don't understand. What would make you take such a risk as to throw yourself?
Risk! Anyone might have thought I'd been buried alive.
Don't you try to prevaricate with me, sir. You know perfectly well I'm not interested in the risk you took, but your reason for taking it.
Your lordship arrives in a state of fury because of false information, raging like a torrent in the Sierra Morena. You are looking for a man, and a man you mean to have. Well, do you have to force the lock or break down the door? I just happen to be there, and who is to know? In the state that you are in.
Well, you could have escaped. Down the stairs.
And let you catch me in the passage.
The passage? What are you? Oh my God! I'm losing my self-control. I shan't get the information I want.
Careful, we must play our cards cautiously.
That's not what I wanted to talk about. We'll leave it. I was just thinking, yes, I had some inclination of taking you with me to London, but on reflection...
Your lordship has changed his mind.
Well, in the first place, you don't know any English.
I can say, God damn.
What was that?
I said I can say, God damn.
Well, what about it?
Why, English is a devilishly fine language. If you can say, God damn, you haven't want need for anything anywhere in all of London. And suppose you fancy a nice chicken. You merely go into the tavern and do like this. God damn. They come to bring you salt beef and no bread. It's marvelous. Suppose you fancy a nice burgundy or claret. You do like this to the waiter. God damn. They come bringing you a foaming tankard of beer. Suppose you fancy a nice wench come mincing along. Elbows back, eyes down, hips lightly swaying. You merely give her a chuck under the chin and a God damn. She lands you on that makes you wonder what he... So, of course, English, with maybe a few other words here or there in conversation, but obviously, God damn is the basis of the language. So, if your lordship has no other reason for leaving me in Spain...
He means to take her to London. She hasn't said anything.
He thinks that I know nothing. I'll play him at his own game for a while.
What made the Countess play such a trick on me this morning?
Upon my word, my lord, you know better than I do.
I anticipate her every wish. I heap gifts upon her.
Yes, you give her presents, but you are unfaithful. Are we ever grateful for superfluities given by those who deny us necessities?
You know, there was a time where you told me everything.
I'm hiding nothing from you now.
How much did the Countess pay you for your support in this pretty business?
And how much did you pay me to obtain her from the hands of the doctor? Honestly, sir, let us not insult a good servant for fear of making him a bad valet.
Why has there always been some ambiguity in your behavior?
Because you are always on the lookout for it.
A detestable reputation?
And suppose I were better than my reputation. Could you name any man as such?
How many times have I seen you on the road to success, and yet... never getting there.
Think of the crowd there is in these days. All pushing, shoving, every man for himself, and devil take the hindmost. That's how it is, and I can proudly say that I, for the most part, have given it up.
Given up your ambitions? Well, that's something new.
My turn now. My lord, you bestowed on me the stewardship of the castle, and a very fine existence it is indeed. And though I do miss being the bearer of exciting news, I shall dwell happily with my wife in the heart of Andalusia.
And what's to stop you from taking her to London?
Oh, I shall have to leave her so often it might become tiresome.
Oh, well, with your brains and your character, you could hope for an advancement in the service.
Brains means to advancement? Oh, your lordship is pleased to make fun of me. Mediocrity and subservience, those are the qualities one needs. Given them, a man can get anywhere.
Well, you only need to study the art of politics a little. Under my direction.
I know it already.
Like the English, the basis of the language.
Yes, If it's anything to be proud of, to pretend to know what one doesn't know and know what one does not, to hear what one doesn't understand and not hear what one does, to appear profound when one is really empty and dull, to encourage spies and reward traitors, to tamper with seals and intercept letters, and above all, promise beyond one's abilities. That's all there is to politics, or I am sadly mistaken.
What you're defining is intrigue.
No politics, intrigue, as you will. I consider them much of a muchness. Let those who meddle with them do so. For I prefer my dear Rio, as the old song says.
I see, you heard everything. I understand. Susanna has given me away.
I'm paying him back in his own coin. Let him make what he will of that one.
So, you hope to win your case against Marceline?
We make it a crime for me to refuse an old maid when your lordship denies us the young ones.
On the bench, a magistrate puts his own interests aside and looks to the provisions of the statute.
Ah, yes. Indulgent on the strong.
Severe on the weak. Do you think I'm joking?
Who knows, my lord? Tempo elegante uomo, as they say in Italian. Time will tell who means harm and who does not.
He has heard everything. He shall marry the duenna.
He's been trying me out. What does he know?
Don Guzman Bridwassa.
Ah, Bridwassa.
Yes, your judge, colleague, and assessor.
Send him in.
Is that all your lordship requires?
What? Oh, yes. Set up the room for the hearing.
What more is needed, my lord? The big armchair for you, the rest for your colleagues on the bench, stool for the clerk, benches for the townspeople, the gentry in front, and the rabble behind. I'll go send out cleaners.
The rascal embarrasses me. Give him half a chance of discussion. He gets you into his grip, and you're lost. Scoundrels, both of them. In league to take advantage of me. You can be friends, lovers, whatever you like, but husband and wife?
Oh, my lord, beg pardon.
What is it you want, young lady?
You are angry.
You're wanting something, apparently.
My mistress has the vapors. I was coming to ask you if you could lend us your smelling salts. I'll return them immediately.
Yes, well, keep them for yourself. No doubt you'll soon find them useful.
You don't imagine that women of my class have the vapors. It's a genteel malady. They only catch it in drawing rooms.
A loving bride, and she's losing her young man.
But by paying Marceline the dowry that you promised.
I promised?
My lord, I thought I heard so.
You could only hear me.
Is it not my duty to listen to your lordship?
Oh. Well, why, cruel child, didn't you say so before?
Is it ever too late for the truth?
Will you be in the garden this evening?
Oh, don't I walk there every evening?
Well, why are you so obstinate this morning?
Oh, this morning with the page behind the chair.
Well, she's quite right. But why this constant refusal when Basile, on my behalf?
What need of a Basile?
She's right again. But there's a certain Figaro who I fear you may have told things.
Oh, why, of course. I tell him everything, except what he ought not know.
Oh, well, charming. So then you promised me everything, my dear. Now, let us be clear. If you go back on your promise, no rendezvous, no dowry, no marriage.
But no marriage also means no love of Seigneur, my lord.
Where does she pick it all up? Upon my word, I shall dote on her, but your mistress is expecting the smelling salts.
I had to have some reason to talk to you.
Delicious creature!
Somebody's coming!
She's mine!
Oh, I must tell you.
Ow! Oh, Susanna, where are you going so quickly after parting from his lordship?
Go to court now if you wish. You've just won your case.
Ah, but tell me!
You have just won your case. What a beautiful trap I was walking into there. I shall punish you both, my impudent friends, I promise you that. A just verdict. Very just. But suppose you were to pay the duenna. What would he pay her with? But suppose that he were to pay. Haven't I, the proud Antonio, whose lofty pride scorns the non-entity of a Figaro for his niece? I shall act on that, and why not? In the vast field of intrigue, one must contrive to cultivate everything, even the vanity of an old fool. Antonio!
Sir, please listen to my case.
Very well. Let's hear what you have to say.
It's a question of the promise of marriage.
Along with the loan of money?
I follow usual consequences, etc.
No, sir, no consequences, no etc.
I follow. Have you got the money?
No, sir, I was the lender.
I follow. You are wanting your money back.
No, sir, I want him to marry me.
Ah, now I do follow. And does he want to marry you?
No, sir, that's what the case is about.
Do you think I don't follow that?
No, sir. Where are we? What, are you going to try the case?
What do you think I purchased his office for?
It's a great abuse, the sale of offices.
Yes. It would be better if we could get them for free. And whom are you suing?
This wicked man, sir.
I'm embarrassing you, perhaps. His lordship says that he will be here in a moment, sir. I've seen this man somewhere before. In Seville, sir. I was in your wife's service. About how long ago was that? About 9 months before the birth of your son. The youngest one. And a very handsome one, too, if I may say so. He's the best looking one out of the whole family. I see you're up to your old tricks again. Oh, sir, it is a trifling matter. A promise of marriage? Poor simpleton. Oh, but sir, has this young man here seen my clerk? You mean Doublemont, the clerk of the court? Yes. He's got a finger in every pie. Finger? 2 hands, if I know anything. Yes, I've seen him about the depositions and the supplementary pleadings, all the usual procedure. We must comply with the forms. Yes, we all know that cases begin with litigants, but it's the forms that enable lawyers to make a living. This young man isn't as green as I thought. All right, Frank, since you seem to know a thing or two about these proceedings, we'll look after your interests. Sure. I rely on your integrity, even though you are one of our judges. Oh, well, what's that? Oh, yes, I am a judge. But if you owe money and won't pay... Then you see, sir, as if it was never owing. Quite. What's it he said?
Gentlemen, his lordship.
Fully robed, Master Bridwassaw. Oh, this is only a domestic matter. Regular dress would have been proper here.
You are too kind, your lordship, but I never go without it. You see, it's part of the form. A man may scoff at a full judge in a mere short gown who would tremble before a lowly deputy magistrate in full robes. We must comply with forms.
Let the public in.
What?
Doublemont, call the case list.
They're noble. They're most noble. The most are definitely noble. Don Pedro Jorge Hidalgo, Baron de los Altos y Montes Fieros y Otros Montes, against Alonso Calderon, dramatist. It's a case of a play, Silborn, which each disavows and attributes to the other.
Well, very sensible of both of them. Verdict. To ensure some degree of success, should they collaborate on other work, let the nobleman give his name and the writer his talent. Next.
Andre Petruchio, laborer, against the provisional treasurer, a case of arbitrary enforcement.
Oh, no, this is beyond my competence. I shall serve my masters better by the seat of the crown.
Barb, Agar, Rob, Magdalene, Nicole, Marceline, Denver, Alil, Spinster, and give Figaro. Baptismal name. Not given.
Anonymous.
Anonymous? Which patron saint is that?
Oh, it's mine.
Against Adonis Figaro. Description?
Gentleman.
Oh, you a gentleman.
Had heaven so willed, I would have been the son of a princely house.
Silence, gentlemen.
Silence!
Get on with it.
In a matter of an objection lodged against the marriage of the said Figaro by the aforesaid Bertalo, Dr. Bartolo representing the plaintiff and Figaro pleading on his own behalf. If the court were so permit, contrary though it be, to use the testimony.
Use, master doublement, is often an abuse. A client with any knowledge of this case is often better off than some lawyer starting from scratch and bawling at the top of his voice, knowing nothing but is little and equally unconcerned about ruining his client, putting the judge to sleep, and boring everyone in the court. Such men are more puffed up than if they would have written one of Cicero's orations. For my part, I shall keep this short. Gentlemen,
this is all beside the point. You're not the plaintiff. You're telling us to defend yourself. Come forward, doctor. It is a promise of marriage.
Ah, yes, it's not the promise.
It is in precise terms.
We must have it produced.
Silence, gentlemen.
Silence!
I, the undersigned, acknowledge having received from the aforesaid Miss, etc., now Celine de Villers, the sum of 2,000 milled edge piastres, which sum I will repay on demand at the castle, and in consideration of which I will marry her, etc., signed Figaro, plain Figaro. The claim is for the repayment of the money and the execution of the undertaking with costs. A more interesting case, gentlemen, was never submitted to the jurisdiction of the court. Since the day when Alexander the Great...
Before you proceed any further, is there any validity to the document?
Do you have anything to say against the document as read?
Yes. I contend that there is malice, error, or deliberate misinterpretation in the reading of the document. The words being as written, not which sum I will repay and I will marry her, but rather which sum I will repay or I will marry her.
Is the word in the document and or?
It's and.
Or. Lemon, read it yourself.
It is always safer. What's the case of misrepresented reading? Miss. Brett alone. Repay upon demand at the castle. Heir. Or. Heir. Or. The words by the Richard. It was a blot.
Blot? I know these blots.
My case is, gentlemen, that the coordinating conjunction and separates the coordinating clauses, I will pay the lady and I will marry her.
Yes, and I contend that it is the alternating conjunction or separating the two clauses. I will pay the damsel or I will espouse her. As for this pedant, I'll out-pedant him if that's what he wants. If he's for speaking Latin, now speak Greek and wipe the floor with him.
That's a fine way of acquitting yourself.
Silence, gentlemen.
Silence!
And the scoundrel calls that paying his debts.
Are you pleading your case, sir, or aren't you?
I'm defending this lady.
Then go on talking nonsense, but cut out the insults. When the court's fair litigants might be too carried away with their emotions and allowed so-called third parties to intercede on their behalf, they did not intend these disinterested advocates be imputed with impunity. It's a disgrace to a noble institution.
Right.
What are they jabbering on about?
Someone has got at the preceding judge, and now he's getting at the others. Result, I am losing my case.
I fear so.
Courage, Marceline.
That's going too far. I denounce you. I demand, in the interest of the honor of the court, that judgment be made on this matter before proceeding to the other offenses.
Oh, no, my dear clerk. I shall not pass opinion on personal judgment. A Spanish judge need not bluster the excesses more fitly attributable to the Asiatic tribunals. There are sufficient other abuses. can the defendant, no, the plaintiff legitimately demand? Marriage in default of payment, the two would be incompatible together.
Silence, gentlemen.
Silence!
What reply does the defendant make? If he chooses to retain his freedom, he may do so.
I won!
But since the document clearly says, I shall pay, or I shall marry, etc., etc., the court condemns the defendant to pay the plaintiff the sum of 2,000 piastres, or marry her today.
I've lost.
A splendid judgment.
What's so splendid about it?
Splendid that you are going to be my nephew. Thank you, my lord. I must go tell my niece all of this.
Pass along, gentlemen. I breathe again.
And I'm stifling.
At least I got my own back. That's some satisfaction.
And what about that fellow Basile who is going to put an objection into Marceline's marriage? Where's he got to? You are leaving us, my lord.
The judgment has been given.
It's this great windbag of a counselor.
A windbag? Me?
Yes, and I shan't marry her. I'll play the gentleman for once.
You'll marry her?
Without the permission of my noble parents.
Where are they? Show us them.
Just give me a little bit more time. I've been searching for them for 15 years.
Foolish braggart, he's some foundling or other.
Not found, but lost, doctor, or possibly stolen.
Lost or stolen? Where's your proof?
If the lace shawls, embroidered wrappings, and jewels that the brigands found on me were not enough to prove my high birth, then the precautions that someone would have taken to give me marks of distinction were proof enough that I was a child someone valued. This is a serious mark on my arm.
A spatula on his arm?
How do you know it?
Heavens, 'tis he!
It is me, all right.
And who is he?
Emmanuel!
You were stolen by gypsies.
Near a castle, good doctor. If you can return me to my noble house, put your own payment upon the service. Mountains of money would not deter my illustrious parents.
Behold your mother.
Foster mother.
Your own mother.
His mother?
Explain yourself.
Behold your father!
Heaven, have pity on me.
Has nature not told you so 1,000 times?
Never! His mother!
He won't marry her, that's for certain.
This nonsensical business is spoiling my plans.
And the noble birth and castle you talked of, you were trying to impose upon justice. Ah, yes, but a very fine trick justice was going to impose upon me. And all the times that I refrained from breaking this man's neck because of his cursed 100 crowns, and now he turns out to be my father. But since no crime was committed, and forgive me, father, and mother, embrace me as maternally as you can.
Stop it, my lord. Now let them marry. My mistress has given me the money to pay her.
But don't take her, mistress. Seems we're all in a conspiracy together.
Wait a bit, lass, before you start paying.
Come along, uncle. I have seen enough.
No, wait, what have you seen?
My own folly and your baseness.
Neither the one nor the other.
You can jolly well marry her since you show such affection for her.
Affectionate we are, but there is no question of marrying.
And you have the audacity to keep me here.
I ask you, that's not very kind now, is it? Please, wait, before you go, I have to just take one look at this woman.
I am looking at her.
And what do you think of her?
She's horrible.
Oh, jealousy, jealousy. One can always rely on it.
Come and embrace your mother to me, Susanna. This naughty man who is teasing you so is my very own son.
You're his mother?
Has it just happened? So far as I know.
No, my heart was drawn to him. Only my motive was I mistaken. It was blood calling to blood.
In my case, it was my own sense that served for instinct when I refused you. It's not that I ever disliked you. After all, I did borrow your money.
It's yours now. Take an agreement. It can be your wedding present.
And take is too.
Thank you very much.
I'm happy as a girl. I was about to become the most miserable of wives. Now here I am, the most fortunate of mothers. Coming to raise my children. My happiness is complete!
Mother! Would you have me cry the first tears I've ever known? At last they are tears of joy, but oh, how foolish of me. I felt ashamed of them. I felt them trickling between my fingers and tried to restrain myself. Away with pride! I'll laugh and cry at the same time. One does not have such an occasion twice.
Oh, my dear! Oh, my dear!
I well, can it be that I'm getting silly too? Misfortune. Now I can defy you. Try and touch me now with these two dear women by my side.
Less of your blarney, if you don't mind. When it comes to marriage, it serves well that the parents be married as well. Have you two joined hands yet?
Have I given my hand? May it wither and drop off before I give it to the mother of such a fool.
Why, then you are no father at all.
Oh, Uncle?
Am I to give my own niece to someone who's no one's child?
How can that be, you fool? We're all someone's children.
Fiddle-dee-dee! You shan't have her! Never!
Go and find someone else to adopt you.
Doctor,
It seems that all the fools in Andalusia are out to spoil my marriage.
Dear father, he's your son. In ability, brains, and in looks.
And he hasn't lost your farthing.
What about the 100 crowns he owes me?
Oh, how we shall take such care of you, Papa.
We shall all be so proud of you, Daddy dear.
Father, Papa, Daddy dear, I'm getting like a child. I'm even sillier than this gentleman. No, I have not said yes. Where is the Lord?
We must find him. If he's allowed to start any more of his tricks, we'll be back where we started. Come, let's go. Sillier than this gentleman here. There's a few things one can say about oneself. They really are a rude lot around here. And so, my love, are you content? This silver-tongued mother of mine has nabbed her doctor, and little as he likes it, he's going to marry her. And so your scoundrelly uncle will be silenced. The only person who is upset about this outcome is his lordship, as our marriage now comes at the price of theirs. Do laugh at this happy outcome.
Was ever anything so strange?
Or so amusing. We only planned to exact a dowry from his lordship, and now we have two which we owe nothing to him. I was tormented by a fury, and you had a desperate rival. Instead, we both now have the kindest of mothers. Yesterday, I was, as it were, alone in this world, and now I have both my parents. Not so grand, it's true, as I'd imagined them, but good enough for us who lack the vanity of the wealthy.
All the same, my boy, not one of the things you had planned or we were expecting has come true.
Yet fortune has done better than any of us could, my love. That's how these things work. One works, one schemes, one arranges things in one way, and fortune determines them the next. From the insatiable conqueror who would gobble up the whole world to the poor, harmless, blind creature that lets himself be led by his dog. We are all at the mercy of fortune's caprices. What's more, the blind man with his dog is often better guided and less deceived in his intentions than the other blind man with his train of dependents. As for the blind god, whom I call love,
He's the only one that interests me.
then allow me to pursue this foolish metaphor, to be the faithful dog that brings love to her pretty little door, and there we are installed for life.
Love and you?
Me and love.
And you'll not seek any other abode?
If you ever catch me, I'm willing that 1,000,000,000 lovers.
Ah, you are beginning to exaggerate. Stick to the truth.
My truth is the truth.
Oh, fie, you rascal. Is there more than one sort?
Of course. Ever since someone noted that in the course of time, old follies can blossom from modest beginnings into great truths, there have been 1,000 different varieties. There are truths one knows but does not divulge, for not all truths can be spoken. There are truths one subscribes to without really believing, for not all truths are acceptable. Lovers' vows, mothers' threats, statements made in drink, promises of men in high position, the final word of our merchants, there's no end to them. There's only one truth that can be relied on, and that is my love for Susan.
I love to hear you talk nonsense. It shows how happy you are. But now let's talk about my rendezvous with the Count.
Oh, rather, let's never mention it. It nearly cost me, my dear Susanna.
You don't want it to take place then? It was much harder to say yes to him than it will be to say no.
The truth. You really mean that?
I'm not like you clever ones. I only know one sort of truth.
And you'll love me a little?
Lots and lots.
That's not much.
Oh, what do you mean?
When it comes to love, even too much isn't enough.
I don't follow these subtleties, but I shall love none but my husband.
Then you will be a wonderful exception to the rule.
Whoa! Well, I was right. Wherever they are, I said they'll be together. Come, Figaro, it is anticipating your future to be having your tete-a-tete now. Your master is wanting to.
Yes, well, I'll take my excuse with
me. She shall follow you. Have you arranged for a change of clothes?
It won't be needed. The rendezvous is off.
So you've changed your mind?
It's Figaro.
You are deceiving me.
Heavens, no.
Figaro is not the man to let a dowry slip.
Ah, madame, what do you mean?
You've come to an understanding with the Count, and now you regret telling me his plans. I can see through you. Leave me.
Ah, madame, as I hope for salvation, you don't know how much you wrong me. After all the goodness and the dowry you have given me?
I don't know what I'm saying. I'll go in the garden in place of you, so you'll avoid going yourself, keep faith with your husband, and help me bring mine back to me.
But how you hurt me?
I was just being stupid. Where is your rendezvous?
The garden is all I remember.
Oh, we should take this pen and arrange a place.
Write to him?
You must.
But surely it's you who should.
I'll take the responsibility. To the latest tune. May it be fine tonight beneath the chestnut trees. May it be fine tonight.
Beneath the chestnut trees, and then?
Do you think he'll not understand?
It's all right. How are we to seal it?
Quick, pin it. It will serve for the reply. Right on the outside, send back the seal.
Ah, this is almost as amusing as the affair of the warrant. I haven't a pin.
Take this one. My ribbon.
It's the little robbers. How could you be so cruel?
But I let him keep it on his wrist. That would have been a nice thing. Give it to me.
Your ladyship isn't going to keep it all stained with that young man's blood.
It will do for Fanchette the next time she brings me a nosegay.
Your ladyship, here are the village girls bringing flowers to you.
Charming. Sorry. Who is this charming child who has so modest an air?
She's a cousin of mine, madame, just here for the wedding.
Well, she's charming. Since I can't hold 20 bouquets at once, we'll do the honor to the visitor. She's blushing. Susanna, isn't she like someone?
Yes, almost to the light.
How I've longed for that kiss.
I tell you he's here, my lord. They changed his clothes in my daughter's room. Here's the soldier's cap. I picked it up. No. No. Nay. Aye! There's our
Heavens!
officer. Didn't I say he was here?
Well, madame.
Well, sir, I'm just as surprised as you are, and no less annoyed.
Well, then what do you say about what happened this morning?
I mustn't keep the deception up any further. He had come down to my room, and we started the joke, which these young people have continued. He took us by surprise while we were dressing him, so he took flight. I was upset, and the fright we were all in did the rest.
Why didn't you go?
My lord.
I shall punish your disobedience.
My lord, listen to me. Whenever you come wanting to kiss me, you always say, I'll give you anything you want as long as you love me, my little puncher.
I say that, no.
Yes, your lord. So, instead of punishing Kirby, let me marry him and I'll love you to distract you.
Oh, to be bewitched by a pain.
Well, sir, now it's your turn. This child's confession, as naive as my own, confirms a double truth. Any cause for disquiet I may give you is always unintentional, but you do everything possible to justify mine.
Oh, you as well, my lord. Oh, I shall have to soften her up as I did her mother. It serves well that the Countess surely knows little girls when they grow up.
Some evil genius here is turning everything to my disadvantage.
Oh, my lord. detain our young ladies any longer, we shan't be able to start the fete or the dancing.
Oh, dancing? Yes. You dancing? What are you thinking about? After falling this morning and spraining your ankle?
Ah, yes. Well, really, it's nothing. Come along, girls.
You were lucky that the flower beds were so soft to fall on.
Very lucky.
Oh, but then he crouched as he jumped.
I suppose a better jumper would have stayed in mid-air, eh? Come along, ladies.
Well, there's one here who can prove my future nephew a liar.
Oh, kill me! Oh, confound little fool!
You get it now, eh?
Yes. Yes, I get it. I get it. What tale is he telling?
His tale is that he did the jumping out of the window.
Well, it could be. I don't pretend to dispute things that I know nothing of.
So you and he both?
Oh, why not, my lord? Jumping can be infectious. Remember, I don't deceive. And when his lordship is in a fury, most would prefer to...
2 at a time.
2 dozen at a time, my lord. 2 dozen? But seeing as how no one was hurt, why make a fuss about it?
Is this a play we're acting?
It is.
That would be the signal for the procession. Ladies, to your positions. Susanna, give me your arm.
The audacity! And as for you, Master Sly Boots, who's pretending to be ashamed of yourself, go and get changed, and I don't want to see you at tonight's ceremonies.
He's going to be terribly bored. Bored? So to imprint out of my form and compensate for 100 years confinement.
What imprint on his forehead is he so pleased about?
Of his first soldier's cap. Everything's a toy for children his age.
Are you going?
You know I'm not feeling well.
Stay for a while, for the sake of your protege, or else I shall believe you are annoyed.
Oh, here come the wedding parties. Let us sit and receive them.
Oh, weddings. I guess one must put up with what one cannot prevent.
It's a love letter from some young woman. The pin has had the audacity to prick him. Everything is precious that belongs to the loved one. See how he picks up the pin. What a man he is.
What is it?
My lord, it's not the deal. Holden follows him, singing as he goes.
Oh, Brazil. Send him in, alone.
My lord, permit me to retire.
I appreciate your forbearance.
Susanna, she'll come back. Come, let us change clothes.
He always comes at the wrong time!
I'll make him seem small.
What? Those whose love is firm and true find the love that's fleeting. What harm if I should cast an eye on every girl I'm meeting? If love's not to fly away, then what does Cupid wings for prey? If love's not to fly away, what does Cupid wings for prey?
Yes. Well, we all know what his wings are for, but tell me, what's all this noise about?
So, that having proved my loyalty to his lordship by diverting this gentleman, who is his lordship's guest, I may in turn demand justice of him.
Bah, my lord, he ain't very in the least with his old fag ends of tunes.
Well, Basile, what do you want?
What belongs to me? The hand of Marceline, and I'm...
When was the last time you looked a fool in the face, sir?
I am doing so now.
Well then, seeing as how my eyes make such good mirrors, make good note of my prediction. If you so much as take one step near the lady...
Why not? Let's hear what he has to say.
We should do Fred. Friends! Us!
What an idea!
Just because he writes stupid music for church.
Because he scribbles his piffling verses.
A taproom warbler.
A newspaper hack.
An oratorio blockhead.
A diplomat jockey.
They're both equally insolent.
He never shows me respect.
True, but how could I?
Goes about calling me a fool everywhere.
Oh, so you think I'm an echo?
Whereas there's never a singer I don't set on the road to success.
Set off bawling, you mean?
And there he goes again.
And why not? Are you a prince of the blood that one has to flatter you? Since there's nothing to be got from lying to you, you must put up with the truth, you idiot! Anyhow, if you're so uncomfortable with the truth, why do you come now interrupting my wedding?
Did you or did you not promise me that if you weren't fixed up within 4 years, then you'd give me the chance?
On what condition did I promise it?
That if you could find a certain lost child, then I should adopt him.
He's found!
He can't be.
Here he is!
The devil!
So, you renounce your claim to the mother?
What could be worse? To be thought the father of a scoundrel.
To be thought the son! Are you getting at me?
Since this gentleman is apparently somebody here, then let me be a nobody.
So I'm to have my wife in the end,
And I, my mistress.
So, everyone's satisfied.
Prepare the two documents and I shall sign them. I too need to retire for a while.
But my lord, my lord. And I once seen it fixing the bark of the chestnut tree.
What fool has given you such an instruction?
Why not?
How is the Countess? How is the Countess going to see them? They must be, yes, in front of the terrace near the apartments.
You hear, right, Soleil? The terrace.
The chestnuts! A fine idea. They were going to light up my rendezvous.
He shows unusual consideration for his wife.
A word with you, son. I want to make something straight with you. Mistaken impressions led me to do your wife an injustice. I always thought she had an understanding with the Count. The Basile always maintained that she kept him at a distance.
You don't know your son, mother, if you think he can be upset by any aberrations of the female sex. I defy the cleverest of them to make a fool of me.
There's no harm in thinking that, my son. Jealousy.
It springs either from pride or from folly. I'm philosophic on that score, imperturbable. Should Susanna ever deceive me, I pardon her beforehand. She shall have her work cut out. My little cousin is eavesdropping.
No, I'm not. They say it's naughty to listen.
It's true, but useful. People don't always realize that.
Well, I was looking to see if anyone was here.
One fib already, you scamp. You know he couldn't be.
Who?
Carubine?
Oh, I'm not looking for him. I know where he is. It's my cousin, Susanna.
And what does my little cousin want with her?
Well, I'll tell you, since you're my cousin now. It's only a pin I have to get back to her.
A pin? A pin? From whom, you minx? So young you're already flying. You. Sorry, Vanchette. It's very kind of my little cousin to,
Well, what are you so annoyed about? I'm going.
No. The pin was the one his lordship had. It held together a note which he held in his hand. You see, I know all about it.
Well, if you know all this, why did you ask about it?
Because I thought it'd be interesting to see how he contrived to give you the pin.
Well, just as you said, Here, little Fanchette, give this pin to your fair cousin and tell her it's a seal for the big chestnut trees.
The big...
Chestnut trees. It's true that you had to take care no one sees you.
No one has seen you. So, you just run to Susanna and don't tell her anything but what his lordship told you to do.
Why should I? He seemed to take me for a fool, this new cousin of mine.
Well, Mother?
Well, son?
Well, just shows that some things really are...
What things?
Some things that I've just heard. It weighs heavy as lead upon my heart.
So all this assurance was nothing but an inflated balloon. One little pin deflates it.
But the pin was the one he picked up, Mother.
Jealousy! Oh, I'm philosophical on that score. Should Susanna ever do?
Oh, Mother! We talk as our feelings dictate. I'd fight you to put the coolest of judges to plead his own case and watch him expound the law. But this young woman, she's not going to get away with it. She and her chestnuts. If I'm sufficiently married to give me the right to be angry, I'm not so thoroughly committed that I can't just leave her and marry someone else.
A fine conclusion, I must say. Let's destroy ourselves on the mere suspicion. What proof have you, my boy, that she's deceiving you and not the Count? Have you some new insight into her character that you condemn her unheard? How are you even sure that she'll go to the rendezvous? Or what she'll say when she gets there? Or what she'll do when she does? I thought you had more sense.
Mother's always right, always right. Well, let's allow something, Mother, for human nature. We feel better for it afterwards. I know the rendezvous. Goodbye, Mother.
Goodbye. And I know as well. Having dealt with him, we'll see what she's up to. Or rather, we'll give her a warning. She's such a pretty young creature. How we poor, downtrodden women are drawn to run to each other's help because of these proud and terrible simpletons. Men. Well, one common interest doesn't set us against each other.
In the love tentacling, you said. That's this one. Suppose you weren't here, my little fair partner. All those horrid people in the kitchen wouldn't even spare an orange or a couple of biscuits.
Well, who wants them?
Oh, well, sir, they're for someone.
Well, we know.
What if they do know? Just because his lordship can't bear the sight of him doesn't mean he has to perish of hunger. Even then, it costs me a kiss. Who knows? Maybe he'll repay me.
It's Fanchette. Good evening, gentlemen. Are you all here?
All whom you're required to come.
About what time is it?
Moon should be up by now.
What dark deeds are you up to now? He has a conspiratorial air.
I ask you, did you all not come to the castle for a wedding?
Certainly.
We're on our way to the park, waiting the signal for the bet.
You won't need to go any farther, gentlemen. It is here, neath the chestnut trees, that we are going to sing the praises of my worthy fiancée and the nobleman that has his own intentions in regards to her.
Ah, yes, I know what it is. Take my advice and let's retire. It's a equestrian rendezvous. I'll tell you all about it later.
Well, come back. Don't fail to come at once when I call. You can blame me if you don't see something interesting.
Remember that a wise man doesn't meddle with the affairs of the great.
I'll remember.
They're always one up in us because of their rank.
Aside from the ingenious ways which you are forgetting about. But remember also that once a man is known to be faint-hearted, he is at the mercy of every rascal that comes upon him.
Very true.
And that I honor on my mother's side the name of Vert Allure.
The devil for him.
He is. As for you others, knaves that you are, don't fail to do exactly as I told you and got the whole area lighted up. Or by the death that I wish that I was at grips with. If I get a hold of any of you.
Oh, you brute!
Happens and you join, Mr. Bright.
Woman, feeble creature that you are. Is it yours to deceive? After the moment of her plighting her word to, and indeed in the very midst of the ceremony, and he smiled while he read it. The scoundrel! But no, my lord Count, you shan't have her. You shall not have her. Because you are a great nobleman. You think you are a great genius. Nobility, fortune, rank, position. How proud they make a man feel. But what have you done to deserve such advantages? Put yourself to the trouble of being born, nothing more. For the rest, a very ordinary man. Yet you measure yourself against me. Somebody's coming. It's she! No. It isn't anyone at all. The night is as dark as the devil, and here I am plying the trade of a husband, though I'm still only half married. Could any fate be stranger than mine? Son of goodness knows whom, stolen by bandits, I'm raised to their ways, but I soon become disgusted with it. I picked up my bundle and my leather strop and set out from town to town with my razor, and lived henceforth carefree. A great nobleman comes to Sevilla, and he recognizes me. And as a result of me helping him to his wife, he now wants to intercept mine. Intrigue, plot, stormy interludes. I'm on the verge of an abyss, and about to marry my own mother, when both of my parents come up one after the other. It's you. It's him. It's me. It's thee. No, it isn't any of us. Oh, who is it then? Fantastic series of events. But why should they happen to me? Why these things and not others? Who made me responsible? Susie. Susie, Susie, Susie. What torture you put upon me. Somebody is coming. This is the moment of decision.
Yes, Marceline told me that Figaro would be here.
So he is. Lower your voice.
So one comes looking for me and the other one listens. Let us begin.
I don't mean to lose work. I'll have this quoted.
Your ladyship is trembling. Are you cold?
The evening is damp. I'm going to go inside.
If your ladyship doesn't mind, I'll take the air into the trees a little, and you'll get the dew on you. I'm prepared for it.
Oh yes, for the dew.
Paige! There's someone about. Maybe it's my hiding place for little kid and shed. It's a woman! Oh heavens. Am I mistaken? In the dark, I can just make out. It seems to be Susie. Supposing the Count were to come. Yes! It's no other than our charming Susie. Can I mistake the soft hand or the way it trembles? Or the beating of my own heart? Go away. If it is pity that has drawn you to the part of the park where I'm hiding, Figaro's coming.
Is it Susanna I see?
I'm not frightened of Figaro. It's not him you're waiting for.
Who is it then?
It's his lordship, you hussy.
There's someone with her.
Yes, for a rendezvous this morning when you were behind, I was behind the chair.
It's an infernal Paige again!
Be good enough to go away. Not until I receive your reward for obedience.
You have the audacity.
20 kisses for yourself and then 100 for your fair mistress.
How dare you?
Oh, I dare, all right. You take her place with the Count, and I take his with you. The one most taken in is Figaro.
Oh, scoundrel!
Cheeky is only a page.
Heavens!
God, nice little girl, I thought I was marrying.
It's his lordship!
I'm going to!
Since you want repeating a kiss, that's one paid off.
Isn't it all? What can one make of this Page? He gets a slap and then he goes off laughing.
If he got the one that I got,
I can't take a step without you.
But let's forget it. You'll spoil all the fun of me finding you here.
Were you expecting to?
What that clever message that, Why? You're trembling.
I was frightened.
Well, I didn't mean to forgo your kiss because I got his.
What liberties?
you hussy.
Charming.
What a lovely skin. Had the Countess such a hand?
How little you know.
Or an arm so firm and rounded. Oh, such lovely fingers.
Is this how love...
Love is no more than the story of one's heart. Passion is the reality that brings me to your feet.
Don't you love her anymore?
Oh, very much. But after 3 years, it all seems so respectable.
What did you seek in her?
What I find in you, my beautiful one.
Such as?
Oh, I don't know. More variety, perhaps. More liveliness of manner. Some undefinable quality that constitutes charm. An occasional rebuff, perhaps. How do I know? Our wives think they do all that is necessary in loving us, and once it's settled that they do love us, how they go on. They're so compliant, so acquiescent, always and all the time, until one fine day, one is surprised to find satiety, for one was looking for happiness.
What a lesson.
The truth is, Susie, I've thought many a time that if we husbands pursue elsewhere for the pleasure that eludes us with our wives, it's because they don't pay enough attention to the art of controlling our interests, renewing affection, and, so to speak, of reviving the charm of a little spice of variety.
So it all rests with them?
Well, certainly it doesn't rest with us. Ours is to win them. Theirs is to keep us. It's too often forgotten.
I shan't forget it.
Nor I.
Nor I.
Nor I.
There's an echo somewhere about. We mustn't talk so loudly. Oh, Susie, you who love is so endowed with life. Just a dash of caprice, and you'll be the most provoking of all mistresses. Here's the gold that I promised for the purchase of a lovely time that you're going to accord me. But since this time is beyond price, I add this, brilliant to wear, for remembrance of me.
Susanna accepts all that you offer.
Could depravity go farther?
So much more grist to hell.
She's mercenary. So much the better.
I see torches.
Oh, it's the people preparing for your marriage celebrations. We should go in one of these pavilions and let them pass by.
Without a light?
Well, why not? We're not going to read.
She's going in. I might have known it.
Who goes there?
I'm not going. I'm coming.
It's Figaro. Shh.
I'll follow you.
I hear nothing now. She's gone in, and there it is. Oh, you foolish husbands who rely on hired investigators and spend months just struggling with your suspicions and never arriving at any certainty. Why not look to me as an example? From the very outset, I follow my wife. I trust in her and know all there is to know. Charming, no doubts, no suspicions. I know just where I stand. Fortunately, her treachery doesn't hurt me in the least. I'm not at all bothered by it, but now that I've got them...
You shall pay for these suspicions. Who goes there?
Who goes there? A man who heartily wishes he'd never been born.
Why, it's Figaro.
Your ladyship, and heaven brings you here at the right moment. Tell me, where do you think his lordship is?
Oh, what does he matter to me, and grateful that he is?
And Susie, my bride-to-be, where do you think she is? That Susie, whom I thought so virtuous, who pretended to be so modest, there and there together. I'm going to shout out. It's Susie. God damn.
You seem distraught.
Oh, the traitress. She's trying to trick me.
We must have our revenge, Figaro.
You really want it?
I shouldn't be true to my sex if I didn't, but men have 100 ways.
The woman's way, in this case, madam, is much the best. We must gather everyone here.
Oh, how I'll wallop him.
It would be a large gift before the marriage.
But what sort of revenge is it that a little love will add spice to?
The love may not be visible. It may be well hidden under the cloak of deference.
I don't know if you really think that, but it's not nice of you to say it.
Madame, think of the time, the place, and the circumstances, and may your resentment make up for any graces which my supplications may lack.
Oh, my hand is itching.
My heart is pounding.
But, sir, have you considered?
Yes, madam, I have considered.
That where anger and love are concerned...
He who hesitates is lost. Your hand, madam?
There it is.
Oh, demonia, what a clout!
What about this one?
What do you think you're doing? Beating carpets?
Oh, what's this? It's me, Susanna. There's one for your suspicions, one for your revenge, one for your treachery, for your tricks, and your insults. All that you are going to do. I swear by the way you talked this morning.
Oh, Dr. Barbara, yes, he's alive all right. Oh, happy Figaro. Oh, 100 black and blue. Give a kind glance, Susie, to the luckiest man who was ever beaten by the hand of a woman.
Oh, the luckiest man, you scoundrel. And yet you didn't hesitate to try it on with the Countess. And with such a fair go of specious nonsense that forgetting who I was, it really was on her behalf that I yielded.
And you think I can mistake your lovely voice?
You recognize me? Oh, I'll get my own back.
You give a fellow a hiding and yet bear malice. That's just like a woman. But do explain to me how I came to find you here when I thought that you were with him. Why these clothes which misled me and now prove your innocence?
Ah, you are the innocent. You walked straight into a trap laid for someone else. Is it our fault if we try to muzzle one fox and catch two?
But who's caught the other fellow?
His wife.
His wife?
His wife.
His what? Oh, fancy not tweaking that, Figaro. His wife? Oh, the cunning, the infinite cunning of women. So the kisses that I heard in this alley.
Were bestowed on her ladyship.
And the pages.
On his lordship.
And earlier, behind the sofa.
On nobody.
Are you sure?
You're asking for another snack, Figaro.
I treasure every single one. But the one the Count gave was in earnest.
There you go again, on your knees.
Of course, I crawl, I grovel.
Oh, what a lot of trouble that poor Count's gone into.
To achieve the conquest of his own wife.
Well, she's nowhere in the woods.
Look.
Perhaps she's in here.
Here he comes.
He's looking for her, and I thought...
He hasn't recognized her yet.
Susie! Are you there?
Shall we go through with it then?
A man on his knees in the Countess! I'll die without my sword!
Forgive me, madam. I had not realized that our usual rendezvous was reserved for the wedding party.
The man from the dressing room this morning!
But let it not be said that such a stupid obstacle came between us and our pleasures.
Hell! Damnation!
He's blaspheming. Come, let's make up for what we lost when I had to jump from the window!
Oh, now we know all!
Before we go, we make sure that we aren't followed.
Vengeance! The master! It's you, you dog, isn't it? Hello! Anybody! Come quickly!
Oh, my lord, I found you at last.
Rodrigo, are you alone?
Just that. Post haste from Sevilla.
Come in. Shout as loudly as you can.
Not a sign of the page anywhere! Here's the packet!
Oh, you stupid fool!
Your lordship told me to shout.
For help! Hello! Anybody! Come quickly!
There's already Figaro and me. How many more do you want?
Oh, shut up!
You see, as soon as you gave us the signal.
Rodrigo! Guard that door!
Did you catch him, Susanna?
My vassals, surround this man with me. You shall answer to me for his life. Ha! Ha! Silence! Now, sir, answer my questions.
How could I do otherwise, my lord? You command everyone here, except yourself.
Except myself!
Now that's talking.
If anything can add to my fury, it's this calm, collected air of his!
And why not? Are we soldiers to kill or be killed for causes we know nothing of? For my part, I would like to know what I'm supposed to be angry about.
Outrageous! At any rate, sir, be good enough and tell me, who is in the pavilion?
That one?
This one!
Oh, that's another matter entirely. A woman who honors me with particular marks of affection.
And does this woman have any other commitments that you are aware of?
I believe a nobleman was interested in her once, but whether he neglected her or she prefers me to a man of greater advantages, she affords me the preference now.
The preference! At any rate, gentlemen, he is open about it. I assure you, what you are hearing from him, I have heard from the lips of his accomplice. Accomplice? When dishonor is openly flaunted, the punishment must be similarly proclaimed.
That's fair and proper.
Let's just take the other's wife. Neither has had that particular pleasure.
All your efforts are in vain. Your hour is come. You're lost, madame. How fortunate, so detestable union.
Toby!
My page! What were you doing in there?
Keeping out of your sight as you told me to.
And I ruined a good horse.
Antonio, get you in and bring forth the woman who has dishonored me.
Is it her ladyship you are seeking?
It serves you well if you've done it yourself often enough.
Get in. You will see, gentlemen, that he was not alone.
My lot would have been endurable had no kind-hearted person sweetened the bitterness for me.
Come on out. Everybody knows you're in there. No sense wanting to be kept in.
My little cousin!
Franchette! Sacramento!
Oh, nice of the Count to show that it was my own daughter that was causing the trouble.
Who was to know that she was in there? I'm telling you.
Allow me, Your Excellency. This is almost vulgar. I'm less excitable.
Ooh, quite a complicated business.
Fear nothing, madam. I'll do you no harm, I promise you.
Listen! Ha-ha! What a joke! My own mother's in it as well.
What do I care about her? The Countess! Yes, the Countess! Ah, now, gentlemen, what do you think should be done with this odious, deceitful... No! 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 No, 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 no! Not if there are 100 of you!
Allow me to join you.
What is this? By Jove, it's her ladyship.
Is that really you, Countess? Only your most generous forgiveness.
If you were in my place, you'd say no, no. Whereas I, for the third time today, accorded unconditionally.
And I too.
And I too.
And I too. There's an echo somewhere about.
An echo. I thought I was being clever, and they treated me like a child.
Regret it, my lord.
All of this is a good day's practice for a diplomat.
What about the letter that was fastened with a pin?
Her ladyship dictated it.
Then the reply should be made to her.
Everyone shall have their own.
Thank you.
Another dowry.
And of the three, this took the most getting.
Like the marriage.
And the marriage garter. Can I have it?
Oh, the garter. It was with her clothes. Here it is. I'd invite any of you to get it from me.
How did you like that smack I gave you on the ear a while ago?
I got.
He got it on my ear. That's how a great man dispense justice.
He got... What do you think about that, Countess?
Ah, yes, dear. Forever and ever, I assure you.
I showed a little evidence of ability and people despised me for it. I was poor and people disliked me. Now with a pretty wife and a fortune.
Everyone will be your friend.
Can that really be?
Oh, and you, Brigwasaw, what's your opinion in all this?
Oh, what? My opinion? I don't know what to think.
A very sensible verdict.